Well, hello. How are we doing? Happy Friday, Ridey. Okay, look, I start with a bit of bothersome news. Unfortunately, my Santander bike was stolen from me today, very annoyingly. I live in the Kensington and Chelsea area, so if you do see an abandoned Santander bike anywhere, please return to the dock because it might be mine. And I think the other thing I would say to this also is hunt him down. So I couldn't resist. Obviously, don't do that. But the reason why I say that is because today I'm going to do a deep dive on The Running Man. So, The Running Man is a novel by Stephen King, and I'm sure most of us are all aware of the beloved Arnold Schwarzenegger version in 1987. So, what I did is I read the novel and then I watched the 80s Schwarzenegger version, 1987, and then I went and saw The Running Man at the cinema. And this is my conclusion. So, first of all, start with the novel. I read it in 2 days, and that's all I need to say. And it's short, and that's a bit like the Bonds. It's only 220 pages or something, and I flew through it. It kind of not. I had an idea, obviously, because I've seen the Schwarzenegger film so many times, but I was aware that it was different, and boy, is it different. But it just gripped me, and it just took me to some big twists, and I was like, whoa! I was like, wow! I was like, I'm really into this. That's a really, really enjoyable experience. So then I watched the Arnold Schwarzenegger one, which was written by Stephen King and D'Souza, which is why it's got that absolute classic 80s action structure. Now, it deviates very far from the novel, and it's kind of repeatedly criticised for this. But it is just so good. I just love it. I still love it. I haven't seen it for a long, long time, even though I still know half the script. It's been a long time. And I was just smiling. It was just so enjoyable. A Christmas tree. It's. I'm sorry, And actually, there are a few. I think what they've essentially done is they've taken the concept, Stephen King's concept, and done their own thing with it. There are a couple of important nods to it. The setup is there. That's correct. The dystopian future. That's correct. And so you kind of main bits are there, but generally they've just done their own film with the concept. And once you accept that, it's actually a really enjoyable action film still. If you haven't seen it for like 20 years or something, trust me, do this. It's a great experiment. So then on to The Running Man, and unfortunately a couple of criticisms have panned it, starring Glenn Powell, and it's directed by Edgar Wright. Fantastic. And I really enjoyed this. And now the important thing about this film is that it does stick very close to the novel. Most of the beats from the novel are in there. And I was just like, right. And I didn't get bored. And that's the thing. Even though I did all this within 2 days, yeah? Finished the novel and read half the novel in the day and watched Schwarzenegger at night. The next day, straight to cinema. So a really concentrated deep dive on all things The Running Man. And I wasn't bored at all. I really enjoyed it. The performances were fantastic. The fact that it stuck to the most of the novel was really good. Now they did deviate. There are some. I mean, actually, there's a couple of major differences. I can't say they were an improvement, but I can't say they took away from it. It was its own entity, and I think that's the magic of it, because it didn't leave me going away frustrated. It wasn't, oh damn it, why'd they change that? I was like, oh, that's really interesting, but listen to what I'm saying. There's a sense of enjoyment there. I was like, okay, that's really interesting what they did. Stephen King's ending novel was brilliant as well. It's just like, wow. I was just, yeah. So it's different, but it didn't jar me because most of it was on point. Yeah. There's a couple of other little differences, but it's fun picking them out. But that's great. And I think what I would say is watch out for a little Easter egg. When he brings up the new dollars, the money, in the new film version, check out the money carefully. Have a quick look who's on the money. That's really interesting. So look, this is what I'm going to say to you. If you want a good weekend, do what I did. Read The Running Man. watch the Schwarzenegger, and then go to the cinema and check out the new film. Because the one thing I will say for all three of them, even though I went through them side by side, is they are all thoroughly enjoyable in their own right. I have no regrets about any of it. I didn't think it was a waste of time, and I have done that before. Read something and then whatever the film. I think the only thing I would say is book first, definitely. But other than that, every single one I enjoyed and all together. So that in itself is a big testament. So folks, if you want a wonderful weekend, check out The Running Man. And I shall speak to Bear. Oh, he messes up right at the end. Look at that. First take. Never mind. Anyway, have a great weekend, folks, and I shall see you Sunday. Whoa, what's coming? Da, da, da.